My generational wealth is in a very different form from what most people imagine it to be. And even sweet potato was considered too expensive for my dad's family when he was growing up. That's how poor they were. One thing about moving back to Southeast Asia, I need to get used to the weather. So much better when it rains. So today I'm going to talk about generational wealth. I think there is a lot of stereotype and, in my opinion, misconception about what generational wealth is. Actually, I would love to hear your opinion, what you think of generational wealth. What images come to your mind when you heard of generational wealth? And to me, I am very fortunate in that I am a recipient of generational wealth, but not in the form that you think. I did not receive a Rolex watch when I turned 18 or a Maserati when I graduated from university. True story, I've heard people receive that. But I didn't have to pay for my university education, and I didn't have to financially support my parents, which is a big relief as an Asian. Those of you who are Asians and you have the responsibilities to financially support your parents, leave a comment below. My heart goes out to you. But my generational wealth is very different, and it started here. This is the house that my dad grew up in, and I used to come here as a kid, and I still remember how this house has changed over the years. When I first came here as a kid, as a 6 years old, that's what I could remember. I have been coming here since I was a baby, but I remember when I was 6 years old, the kitchen still had dirt floor, I kid you not. So when it rains, you could hear the rain hitting the tin roof and moisture almost seeping through the wooden wall. And the house expanded over the years because my dad has 7 brothers and sisters, and they gradually moved out to other parts of this little village in the middle of Malaysia. And some of them just, one uncle went to Borneo, a few other uncles went to Kuala Lumpur, and my dad went to Singapore and eventually moved back to Malaysia. My generational wealth is in a very different form from what most people imagine it to be. My generational wealth, well, as you can see, my dad grew up poor. I'm talking about like proper poor. He said when he was growing up, he had to do farm work. He has a sister, so I only have one auntie from my father's side, and she had to do the extra household chores in addition to the farm work that everybody else have to do. And we were having sweet potato leaf today, and my dad used to say that is considered a luxury, but you have to remember, sweet potato leaf is a byproduct of sweet potato, and even sweet potato was considered too expensive for my dad's family when he was growing up. And sweet potato leaf was a bit of a daily staple, and that's how poor they were. And what my dad left me was not, I mean, he's still around, so I'm very fortunate in that when I say generational wealth, I mean knowledge and a way of treating life and a way of thinking about life. If you watch some of my other videos, you know that my dad taught me how to invest as soon as I got my first salary, and he had to learn how to invest from scratch. And he made many mistakes in his earlier life. I mean, granted, this guy doesn't even have a university degree, so for him to learn about investing, it was quite a bit of an uphill battle. I kind of don't know where I'm going with this rant today. Sorry, I was rambling a little in my previous video. My point is, when you see the word generational wealth, especially in a place like the UK, you almost have a sense of just giving up. Like, what's the point? If you're born poor, pick a better parents. Or you see YouTubers who are second generation wealth, or third or fourth or fifth or sixth generation wealth, and they don't really have to work, and it's almost guaranteed that they'll be a millionaire. You just have a sense of, why bother? I might as well just give up. Or you go the other extreme. You see some YouTubers who have rag to riches stories and they got rich because of options trading course, or they start a YouTube channel. And on that note, I do have an options trading course coming up. It costs £5,000 and you can easily be a millionaire using my foolproof way of trading options on the NASDAQ. So link below, click it if you want to start creating generational wealth. On a more serious note, I am showing you real life example of how most generational wealth are created. I'm not a millionaire, you can see it from my YouTube video, not in British pound term anyway. And my dad literally grew up poor. And how generational wealth started is just a man or a woman decided to work hard on a business or invest consistently, slowly, in a really boring way, and building wealth very slowly, very quietly. They don't shout about. And when I notice my friends who also are the beneficiary of generational wealth, and I'm not talking about sons and daughters of billionaires, I'm just talking about sons and daughters of millionaires, they are kind of similar in that their parents either invest or build a business and they study hard in university. That's almost the expectation for an Asian second generation middle class anyway. And you're expected to work hard, and sometimes you work in corporate jobs. Some of us set up their own business and they grow their wealth even more. So my point is, don't feel disheartened if you're not born into a rich family. Sure, the odds are not in your favor to become a billionaire, but being a millionaire, to be financially secure, to get to a point in your life where you don't have to worry about money, that can be created. You do have to work hard, but it can be created. And if you haven't watched my videos about how to be a millionaire, even if you start from zero at the age of 40, do watch that video. It can be a little bit boring. I am going through a lot of math, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. My point is, it is possible, and I would like you to start building that for yourself or for your next generation. If you would like to learn how to create generational wealth starting from you, I have a YouTube video where I show you the calculation on how to use Junior ISA to start creating generational wealth for your kids. If you like this video, click a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you next time.